Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the only place to be for the pre-match pump-up. And what a pump-up it is tonight. What a game. Chelsea away faces Spurs tonight. But I'm joined by three handsome young men. We've got Jimbo, we've got Leader Dorset Spur, and we've got Marlon from Spurs Kids TV. Jimbo, first of all, how you doing? You're muted, I think. You're muted.
I said, yeah, that's the best place for me, Kate, honestly. I said, I'm excellent and I can't wait tonight to smash these.
Oh, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Lee, how are you? Fresh back from Cyprus. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've got the holiday blues, but yeah, I'm okay. And what a game to come back to, right?
Yeah, indeed. Wow. And Mr. Marlon, long time no see. How are you doing? And how are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm still on a football holiday. Spurs don't actually play till Sunday, so I'm all good.
Oh dear, what a game to come back to. I was trying to find some facts and figures like I do before every pump-up show and literally couldn't find anything positive to say really about this fixture. And if he loses tonight, will be the first Spurs manager to lose all four games, first four games against Chelsea. So that's not good. But I'm going to try not to dwell too much on that. And before we start talking about Chelsea, there's been a lot of talk whilst I've been away about Paratici moving on. I saw a tweet today from our very own Paddy Hartnett saying he doesn't really care if Paratici goes because he's had more misses than hits with the likes of, and he listed Hill, Royale, Richie Basuma, Danjuma, Forster, Perisic, Longley, Johnson, Dragusin, Valise, Solomon. Marlon, how are you feeling about Paratici if he goes? And do you think that's fair that he's had more hits than misses? Misses than hits, sorry.
Yeah, Paratici is always going to be 50-50, and when you're working with Spurs constraints, it's always going to be. But I would say if you look at his hits compared to his misses and then go look at Hitchens, you kind of go, oh, here we go. And Lange is exactly the same. And I'm not getting any confidence from Lange either. And if you go look at his Villa record, look, there's a reason why Paratici is wanted by AC Milan, and there is a reason why Levy chased him for 6-7 years before he actually came. It doesn't matter about his misses; it's about his hits, and his hits are the most important. And I just think we're going to be. I think we're going to be back. Look, we're 14th for a reason, and I just kind of think him being banned for the 18 months is kind of gone in tell with how we've been run as a club. So. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I look at it and go, if I don't believe Spurs will go out and get someone better. The last time we had someone was Paul Mitchell, and then before that, Frank Arneson. So It's not like we're going to go in the next. Well, Lange has not proven to be anything special. We'll see next. I don't think. And what worries me is that Lange is good with young players. He's not good with players now, and the fact he couldn't even get Tell to sign is a worrying thing. But look, we move on, see what happens next. It's Tottenham, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Tottenham lads. Talking about young players, Lee, the thing that Chelsea have been criticised for this season they've got a very young squad, they've got a lot of talented young players, but they seem to lack the leadership and the experience that they've had in previous seasons. Do you see that as a weakness for Chelsea this season?
Well, I mean, they're still up there, aren't they? They've had a bit of a rubbish time here and there, but they're still turning out results and still getting the results that they need to kind of keep them where they need to be. And I'm sure that going through some of the stuff they've gone through will create leaders. It's not, leaders are developed and stuff. Not everybody's a natural leader. So I don't think it's a massive weakness for them. Like I say, they're better than a lot of the other teams in the league at the moment, so you can't really complain for them, can you? To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Jimbo, it's like Stuart said, Chelsea's one of them teams that can be so crap for long periods of time, but they still manage to beat Spurs. I mean, Tottenham have only beat Chelsea once in 39 Premier League meetings at Stamford Bridge. What have we got to do tonight to beat these guys?
Just turn up. I think our team's a bit underestimated. Okay, we've got some good players, right? We've got some good players, and if we've seen what they can do when they play together. You know, look, we've smashed City this season. We've smashed Aston Villa this season. Why can't we smash Chelsea? They got to turn up and want to win. That's what they got to do. They got to want it. You know, like 2016 Battle of the Bridge. They got to want it. Go in there and have it with them, and we can beat them. They're nothing special. You know, they're not like frightening, are they? It's not like you get going up like when we played Liverpool, right? When we played Liverpool, you know you're up against a proper team. They're not, for me, they're not frightening. If we turn up and want it, we can beat them.
You are funny, Jimbo. People laughing at you saying you just turn up. But I know what you mean. You mean turn up and play well.
Yeah, turn up and play football. Yeah, not just turn up and stand there. They've got to turn up and want it. They've got to want it. And if they can't want it for this game, then we're in trouble, aren't they?
Jimbo, we're going to have to do more than turn up and play well.
No, they're not an outstanding team.
No. I do get it. But our record at Chelsea, we've had some good teams go there, and we've
there to be broken, Marlon.
Do you know what? I do believe in what you're saying, but when it comes to this fixture, it's not just the club that has a mental block; it's us as well as fans, and I just can't. Especially when Chelsea are not on form, we always seem to lose to Chelsea, and I was gutted that they were not on form going into this game, because it was kind of like I wish they were on form, because I thought we would have had a better chance. However, the only good thing about this is that Ange's had such a bad season. You wouldn't be surprised if he got a result tonight. You just wouldn't. It would be the most Ange thing to do.
Yeah,
everything that's happened this season. But
yeah,
I can see that though. I can see that.
Yeah, exactly. It is. I mean, look, everyone's saying the same thing. Tottenham have got to kind of go all out to win the Europa League. We all know we've got to kind of put our eggs in that one basket. But I still think we need to start putting in some performances in the league. And I don't think Tottenham fans are going to be happy if we don't put in a good performance against Chelsea, who are one of our biggest rivals. I mean, if I was Ange, I would be playing the TalkSport interview with John Terry, where Jamie O'Hara mentioned us beating them in the final to win a trophy, and he said that's the only trophy they've won in 100 years, and it will probably be the only trophy they win in the next 100 years, and laughed. You know, we are a bit of a laughing stock to Chelsea. They used to call it 3-point lane. If Ange can't get the players up for a game like this, Lee, then we're in trouble, surely.
I mean, that's the whole thing, isn't it? I mean, I go with what Jim said, you know, about turning up and all the rest of it. You've got to turn up. You've got to turn up with the right mindset. You've got to want to play your football and do what you do rather than worrying about them. This run of shit results against them has got to end at some point, right? So why not today? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not confident. I'm not confident, but it could happen. As Marlon said, this season has been a really weird one. We're sitting in fourth, and yet we've beaten some our big rivals, some big teams in there. You know, people forget about, you know, beating Villa, smashing Villa, who are a good team, smashing City, who are a good team. You know, beating United, all right, not as good a team as they are, but we've spent a lot of years in their shadow trying to beat them and never getting a result. You know, West Ham's another one who we absolutely smashed, and that was, you know, one of those where we've all seen us kind of go ahead and then end up with a crappy draw out of it, and you know, all those kind of things. So he's had some really good results in a really, really poor season. So if we turn up there, we play our football that we want to, then, you know, and play without fear. The only thing I would say is that what I don't want us to do is get dragged into the physical side of it and someone getting their ass sent off for something stupid. You know, someone like Romero. Obviously, you're gonna think of someone like that, or Bergvall if Bergvall's playing, or something. You know, getting sort of sucked into it really. But we showed them at the lane, didn't we? You know, we went 2 up, and of course it all went to pot. But it shows that they are get-outable. You know, so.
I mean, what I would say, fingers crossed. What I would say, Jimbo, is, I mean, I wrote down my predicted 11, and I put the front three as Odegaard, Solanke, and Son. But I do feel we're lacking any real danger up front. You know, we've had 9 games this season where in the first 45 minutes we haven't had a shot on target, and that is massively concerning considering Ange ball's meant to be all about fast attacking football. I mean, do you start that front three? And you know, are you not concerned about where the goals are going to come from?
Well, I think that with concerning the front line, Kate, we've had a real mix and match, haven't we, because of injuries. So, I mean, is Solanke fit?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely have Solanke playing up front, definitely. And you can't really leave Sonny out because if Sonny turns up, you know what he can do, you know. So, but I mean, can you imagine if he wins? What?
No, I was going to say, so Brennan, are you leaving Brennan out?
No, he can go on the right. He can go on the right, can't he?
So you're leaving Odegaard out. Which one are you starting?
I'd start Sonny, yeah, definitely. I wouldn't leave Sonny
out. Yeah, but on the
other
side. On the other side.
I'd put Johnson in. I'd start Johnson.
Oh.
So, but look, can you imagine look at Marlon laughing. Don't laugh, Marlon. Come on.
I'm laughing at you too.
Can you imagine what it'd do for the team and the fans if we go and we beat Chelsea tonight at Chelsea? It'd give everyone a proper lift, wouldn't it? You know.
Well, as usual, Jimbo, you're wrong because Odegaard starts, not Johnson. And the team is Vicario, Spence, Romero, Van der Ven, and Udogie at the back. Then he's put Bergvall in. I actually had Saar. I didn't think he'd start Bergvall, but I'm glad he is. Bentancur, Madders, and then Odegaard, Solanke, Sonny. Lee, first thoughts on the lineup?
I think that's probably the strongest we would go. I think that's the strongest we go. A bit of a surprise with Bergvall, as you say, but he's been decent, and he's the sort of player that can, you know, turn something on. I'm glad to see Madders in there for a bit of creativity, because that always worries me. And I say I'm not surprised about Bentancur over Bissouma, because Bissouma has been really off the pace for so long. So yeah, makes sense to me. I was going to go the other way from Jim. I was going to go with Odegaard because I think he's just started getting some form back. You know, he scored 2 goals recently. He played well against England, I believe. Didn't he score against England or got an assist or something like that? So I think it looks probably the strongest lineup that we've got there, and I'm really pleased for Spence as well, if I'm honest. Getting an opportunity on the right hand side, although I think he's been brilliant on the left. So for me, I think that's probably the best, strongest lineup we could probably go with.
Yeah, a lot of people had Porro starting above Spence, but I'm delighted that he stuck Spence in there. I think he's earned it. But Marlon, what's your thoughts on the team?
The only change I would have made I would have started Porro. I would have taken Udogie off. I don't think Udogie's been great this season. And if I look at the performance of Porro, Spence, and Udogie out of the 3, I would say Udogie's been the most inconsistent. I don't think he's even had one good game that I can sit there and go, "Oh, you've been great." Where Spence has been better he's better as the left inverted wing back because he has to turn on his right. So I think that's why he's been better there. But it's going to be interesting. Look, that's probably the strongest lineup that Ange could probably go for, and it's probably the right lineup when I look at it. But for me, this game's not on Ange tonight. It's not on Ange. This is a free hit. He's got 2 free hits in the season, and that's always Chelsea away and Liverpool away. But apart from that, look, they can only go out and do what they got to do. As Lee said earlier, look, we went 2-0 up when we had Romero and Van der Ven on the pitch. As long as them two can stay fit and play 90 minutes, and there's no Archie Gray back there, I think we'll do all right. I think we will do all right. Look, they've just got to go out there, and as Jim said, they've literally just got to put in a performance and believe. Don't believe anything that's been said by us fans. They've got to believe. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to be another mauling at Chelsea.
I believe.
You always believe, Jimbo. You think we're going to beat everybody. Just before I come to you, Jim, on the bench we've got Kinski, Porro, Davis, Gray, Bissouma, Saar, Mikey Moore, Brennan Johnson, and Tell. Jim, what's your thoughts on the? Obviously, you put Johnson where Odegaard is, so you were wrong about that.
I know, but look, Kate, It's a 50-50. You put Johnson in there, right? He does turn up with goals, you know. He does. He gets himself in the right places and puts goals in the back of the net. So for me, it's a much 50-50. I'm not disappointed he's not in and Odegaard's in. So it's for me, it's, you know, one's as good as the other, in my opinion. He's got a little bit more about him. I'm taking people on, so I'm happy to see him in there. But it's lovely to see Spence in there because I think he's earned it. And it's lovely to see Van der Ven and Romero back. Let's hope Romero can put a shift in. You know, he made some mistakes, didn't he, for his country? So let's hope that he's got rid of them mistakes. It was his first 2 games back for his country. He's had 2 run-outs now. Let's hope that he can turn it on. And I'm happy with the team. But that team's good enough to beat Chelsea. There's no 2 ways about it, if they want it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, let's just have a look at the Chelsea lineup. They've got Sanchez in goal, which is a positive for us. Then they've got Gusto, Chalobah, Colwill and Cucurella, Casado, Enzo, Neto, Palmer, Sancho and Jackson. And their subs are Jorgensen, Tosin, Badiashile, I can't say that guy's name, James, Dewsbury Hall, Madueke, George, and Nkunku. I mean, anyone there, Marlon? Obviously, Palmer. Jackson likes to score against us. Anyone there that worries you particularly?
He likes to score against us when we got 9 men, yeah. Let's get it straight.
No, the worrying thing is that obviously what people don't realise, Palmer's form dipped when Jackson got injured. And it dropped dramatically. So them 2 being back together, because their partnership has been actually unreal for the last 2 years, that people have not really seen it. And people have been complaining about Palmer, he's not done this. But again, if any Chelsea player wants a fixture to come back and prove anything they want to work to this Chelsea crowd, this is the one. Chelsea fans care about this one the most, and it's always the easiest fixture for them to do. But look, we've got a good lineup. It's going to be a good game. Look, I'm looking forward to the game. Whether we get the result or not is a complete different question. But I'm not going to sit here and say we can't get a result, because when Dele Alli scored these 2 goals, I was thinking, we're never going to do it. So, but we just need we just need one of our players to put in one of those performances, and that's all we need. And that's the only thing that we've never had when we go to the bridge, is that one player goes, I'm going to be above everyone else. And there's players in that team today that have been poor all season. If they really want to show us something, they've been poor in the North London derby. They better not be poor when they play West Ham. But this is another game that they can prove themselves, and this is all they got to do. This is all they've got to do, is prove themselves tonight, that they can up their game, because the way they've been playing in the Europa League recently, where it's the only competition, is worrying. So they've got to show us something tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, Lee, anyone there particularly that worries you with regards to Chelsea?
No, not really. It's just, I think, as Jim says, I mean, I wouldn't have said that there's many of their players that would get into our team and vice versa. Like, you wouldn't swap all of those for all of ours, if I'm honest. Palmer, I'd take him all day long. I think he's a brilliant player. But at the same time, I do believe that we've got some decent talent in our squad. You know, I think there's work that needs to be done. The main man for me is Maddison. As Marlon said, someone needs to turn up, and for me, that's the man that needs to turn up today. He needs to put in the type of performance that we've all expected from him for a long time. And if he can do that and show his leadership quality and all the rest of it, then I think that's the key. Is him really pulling the strings and making us play. And if Bentancur can kind of marshal across that sort of midfield and everything, and have Bergvall with his legs and stuff like that, then there's a chance. So no, I'm not overly concerned about who they put out. It's Chelsea. I think the whole of Chelsea will be a problem for us because it's Chelsea and because of our record. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I'm seeing it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think a lot of the problem with Tottenham against Chelsea at their place is psychological. I always think we look beat before we even start. But with the likes of youngsters like Bergvall, who haven't felt, too much of that pressure, he, for me, I know you said Madders, Bergvall, for me, I think is going to be our key man tonight. I've just got a feeling he's going to play a worldie. Jimbo, where are you seeing the creativity coming from? Anyone in particular?
Well, I think to myself, when you say about it's in their heads, it shouldn't be in these guys' heads, because a lot of these haven't played, only Sonny, against Chelsea a lot, you know. So you know, it shouldn't be in their heads. It's not like it's the same team for the last 39 years, is it?
Yeah, but Jimbo, the only problem is that it's not in. It might not be in their heads, but it'll be in everyone at the training ground, everyone who's worked there, every person that's there day to day will be going, "Oh my God, it's Chelsea! Oh my God, it's Chelsea!" And the players will be going, "What?" And then they would have been hearing Talk Sport, they would be hearing Sky Sports of how poor a record is. So that's going to get into their heads. They're not going to be able to block out that noise. And unfortunately,
that's a defeatist attitude, Marlon.
Yeah, but this is the problem, and this is the problem that Spurs are always going to have when you have that defeatist attitude straight away. You are relying on your manager to go, no, let's keep that noise out and get this victory. And then once they start, because obviously we had a terrible record with Chelsea at home as well. But Martin Yole broke that. He broke that, and that's from there we started to pick up home results. But the away one, it will be exactly the same. And once it's broken, because after we beat Chelsea 3-1, we all thought it was going to be over. But then every season we've gone back there since, we haven't turned up. It's literally been mauling after mauling after mauling. And for me, we all sit there and do this, but for us, you can't really break that mentality when it's around them in the club. And that's the biggest issue that they're going to have, is that they have to basically stop that outside noise coming in. And I don't know if they're going to do it, because they've shown us clearly this season that they just don't have the mental attitude to do anything. And they haven't, because they've literally got into games going, when they had 3 days a week, going, oh, we're expected to lose this because we haven't been able to train, we haven't been able to do this. So for me, I'm looking at going, yeah, they haven't played, but their mental attitude that they've shown up all this season, you are literally relying on your captains to get you out this, which are the leadership group, which is Vicario, what's his name, Romero, Maddison, and Son, to get them out of this. And if they can't get them out of it, we're stuck. We are going to be completely stuck. So, but with all four of them being on the pitch tonight, I tell you, that's the most positive. That's the first positive step out. And that's kind of why you can now look at it and go, can they block that noise? Can they stop everything coming in? Because I tell you now, it will be in their heads, no matter if they've not been here or not. It will be in their heads.
Yeah, but see, I would be if I was in their position when I heard all the noise from outside, that would make me more determined to want to go out there and do well and shut people up. You know?
Yeah.
Like Fulham, when Fulham went to Arsenal last night, their record at Fulham's record at Arsenal is completely as bad as Chelsea was against Chelsea, and they still can't block out the noise, and they're in a better position than we are. And Arsenal ain't even got a striker, so you just kind of have to. This is where I'm relying on Ange tonight, and only Ange. And for how much he believes in himself, this is why I said it'll be the most Ange thing to do for him to go and get a result, because Ange will be telling them boys, look, we can win it. We can get out there, play our game, do what we've got to do. But Ange has got to convince them. He's got to change. He's got to make sure that outside noise hasn't hit them.
Yeah, I agree. Just before we carry on, there's only 45 likes and 450 in, so we've got to do something about that, because that's not good enough. Jimbo, coming back to you quickly. Obviously, Kulu misses this game. Apparently he's 2 weeks away. Richie was in training, but he hasn't made the squad. Not that I think that's any particular loss, but Kulu, I think we're missing badly. Do you agree, or do you think?
Yeah, 100%. He's been really good for us. You could see that he needed a break. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise, because he needed to have a break, didn't he? So, but of course, he's always going to be missed. He's one of our best players. But I was going to say to you as well about Palmer, right? He wasn't playing well before he got injured. He was on a really bad bit of a run, wasn't he? So he was on a bad run. He's been injured, been out. So is he going to be spectacular tonight? I don't know. It doesn't. I'm not really bothered. You want to know the truth about him?
Lee, I mean, a lot of people, Lee, have said it simply is, if Spurs can keep Palmer quiet, they can win. Is it as simple as that, really?
Is it as simple as that? No, probably not. You know, like I say, this is Chelsea. We're all talking about our own mental block on it, aren't we? We're all doing exactly the same that Marlon's talking about, right? We've all got this mental block on it. We're all thinking we're going to lose. You know, no one's got any faith in it. It's a free hit for Ange and all the rest of it, apart from Jim, of course. But so we're all doing the same. And the trouble is, if what we're doing is making the noise and the players are getting it, then we're part of the problem, right? We're not helping. But you can't help but give your own emotion, right, and your own viewpoint. And it's, and I say this a lot, right? It's all about opinions. You know, everyone's got a different one, and no one's right and no one's wrong. So we can only think what we think. But again, I agree with Marlon. I think Ange has a massive part to play in this. You know, he needs to be saying to them, look, everyone's writing us off. We're in a really shit situation in the league, but we've still got something to play for. But you need to show that mentality if you wanna keep this team, if you want to show some pride in your own performances and move forward. You've had some time off for some of you. You've had minutes those that needed it. Now's the time to shine, and there's not a better game to do it in than this one. It's the one that we're all dreading, but it's the one you really, really want if you're going to say and make a statement about where you're going this season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Marlon, me desperately would love to see a Battle of the Bridge type game tonight. I love the needle. I love the eye being poked out. I love the, you know, the real sort of rivalry. However, obviously don't want to get a red card. Do you think that, obviously we've got Romero, but I just don't think that Tottenham or Chelsea have got those characters anymore that do that sort of thing.
No, both teams have kind of softened up in the last few years, and it's kind of that game was probably the best up until like we beat them, was probably the best game I'd seen Spurs ever play at Stamford Bridge. We completely annihilated them. We just turned off for the last half an hour of that game. However, look, I'd love to see that game tonight, but both teams are not really in the best shape. We're all going into it all kind of umming and ahhing, but it's not going to disappoint. It will never disappoint. And that's the best thing about a Chelsea Spurs game. No matter how our record is there, not one game has ever been disappointing, apart from when Jacques Santini went there and parked the bus and completely upset Mourinho. But apart from that, there's always been goals. It's always been drama. And for me tonight, I just can't agree with Lee so much about what he said. Ange has got to put it in them tonight, and he's got to say to them, whether I'm here or not next season, there's a lot of people looking at this game, and if you want to be here next season, because most of you likely will be, you want to be starting for this club, even if it's not me, the next manager will see this and they will remember games like tonight when it came to the tough ones and it came to getting over that line. Who can they rely on? And that's what he just needs to get in their head, because and then hopefully we'll be fine. Hopefully we'll be fine. Look, a draw, brilliant result. A win, oh my God, I think everyone's YouTube channel is going to get shut down tonight. But we can do it. Look, I'm not sitting there saying we can't do it. We just have a mental block. We all do. And it's, and unfortunately, like even last year when we played Poch, we all thought we were the better, like we were in a better form. Chelsea were halfway down the table and we still couldn't turn up. And you're like, oh, come on, Spurs. So, you never know. You never, ever know.
Big up, Dave. Good to see you. You're always welcome on these pre-match pump-ups, just so you know. If you're ever around and you want to jump on, let me know. But thank you very much. It's good to be back. Jimbo, obviously the bench as well. We've got Kinski, but we've got the likes of Porro, Davis, Gray, Basuma, Sarr, Mikey Moore, Johnson, Tell. We've known Johnson to be a super sub. Anyone else there that you think could come on and make a difference?
Well, I just want to say, Kate, this could be these players that are out on the pitch now, the team there could be a battle of the bridge. Vicario will be up for it. Spence, he gets stuck in, he'd be up for it. Romero, Van der Ven, Bergville gets stuck in, Bentancur.
I think Van der Ven and Bergville are too pretty to get stuck in.
They do get stuck in, though.
Yeah, they do. Solanke as well, mate. Yeah, Solanke as well. I think, ex-Chelsea.
Yeah, he's got something.
Sonny would be up for it. So there's a good team out there to get stuck into them. We need to be positive. We're going to smash these fuckers. It's going to be a win tonight, I'm telling you.
If we can stop Enzo, I think if we can stop Enzo, he's going to be very key. And I think a lot of people don't talk about Enzo Fernandez as much because they don't see him as the person. But actually, there's a reason why he's captain. He can dictate everything. If we can stop him, I believe we can stop Chelsea. Forget Palmer and Jackson for a second. It's Enzo. If Enzo runs that midfield, because it's our midfield that's always a problem, and Enzo likes to run the midfield. And if we give him any leeway, like we did at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, again, we'll suffer.
To be fair, I mean, I was one of the people really slagging off Enzo last season. I thought he was overpriced and this, that, and the other, but he's really come into his own this season. He's looking very, very good. Lee, what's your thoughts on Tell?
It's such a difficult one, right? Because the kid's been with us for 10 weeks, something like that. Like when we were chasing him down, everyone was like really hyped for him. Great player, he's going to be fantastic. Great young talent and all the rest of it. He's come in and he's just not had the best of times. But there have been a couple of glimpses. I mean, the goal he scored against Villa was really, really well taken. I think the attempt he did in the last game shows that he has something about him. He has a bit of quality, but he's kind of been played in all different positions. You know, he's been a little bit on the left, he's been a little bit on the right, a little bit up front. I think he needs to settle in and kind of get a bit of confidence in a position that he can kind of work on. So I think it's too early to write him off. I know a lot of fans have, which is really disappointing because they do that a lot. Write a player off before they've even had a chance. But for me, I think, you know, young player, given a bit of time, I think he could be all right. I think he could do something for us. Yeah,
I mean, Marlon, I haven't had a chance to speak to you because we haven't streamed together forever. But I mean, you're quite level-headed. I'm one of these people who I've got faith in Tell, but then I mean, I did have an enormous amount of faith in Brennan Johnson. That's just me. But I see something with Tell that I think is going to...
Can I just cut you short there, right? You shouldn't be dissing Brennan Johnson. He's banged some goals in for us this season, right? So,
I know, but he's not the best. He's not the best, is he?
He's done what a lot of them haven't done and smashed some goals in the back of the net. So let's give him a little bit of respect.
Okay, round of applause for Brennan Johnson for smashing some goals in. But back to Tell, Marlon. Don't say anything negative, for God's sake, or even slightly negative, because, you know, we will get shouted down. But what's your initial thoughts on Tell?
It was always going to be difficult for him. He's 19. He's coming into a team that was kind of on the floor. What do we expect? He wasn't even getting into the Bayern Munich team. It was kind of, we're not the best equipped at the moment. For him, you can tell the difference between him and Danso. Danso was older. He's probably he's played in England, so it was a bit more easier for him. But Tell, I'm not going to sit here and judge him. He's been playing up top as a forward. He's not a forward. He hasn't really then had a run in the team on the right or left. Let's just wait and see. But whether I'd make the purchase next year, it's one of those. I kind of go with it. You got to. There are other important positions that we could spend the money on. Not the fact he's a good player or a terrible player. I just don't think he's what we need right now. And look, I'm not a big fan of Brennan Johnson, but he does score goals. But he just can't do anything else. But I haven't seen him since Ipswich, so it'd be nice if he turned up tonight. We played Ipswich weeks ago.
He just can't do anything else. Bless him. I've tried so hard to defend this guy, but there's so many times I watch him and I'm literally pulling my hair out. Like, just do something. But he could well come on and be a super sub tonight. You know, we don't know. I hate to say this little bit of stats here, but only Leicester and Southampton have lost more Premier League away games than Spurs. We've lost 8. Leicester's lost 10. Southampton have lost 12. Lee, is Ange the guy to take us forward? Is he?
I don't know. It's a real difficult one, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
No one knows what we're going to do with Ange, and I'm very firmly got splinters up my bum because I'm sitting on the fence trying to decide what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. Because I look at all the other candidates, right? Everyone's going on about Areola, right? He's lost his last 4 games or something, and had one draw in there. You know, and Frank's get, you know, all these, they're not having a great time either. They've only kind of had a couple of more wins than us. So I kind of think if we're going to change, it has to be the right change because we need some stability. And he was talking, wasn't he, on his pre-match press conference, and he was talking about what he'd been brought in to do: refresh the squad, rebuild the squad, and change the way we played football and bring success. Now, bringing success is going to be the hardest part of that, right? He has changed the way we played football initially. We've seen some really good opportunities or some really good play, and something that we was really looking for. He is refreshing the squad. Whether it's the right refresh or not is another issue, and that's not something that he's doing on his own. But he is refreshing the squad, bringing in younger, newer, fresher players or whatever, and clearing out who everyone was calling the deadwood. So he's doing the task that he's asked to do, and he still has the opportunity to bring us some success this season. So all the while that's still on the cards, for me personally, I think you've got to back the team, got to back the manager. At the end of the season, I think that's when you take stock and you go, right, has he got the ability to take us any further forward, or has he done his job, which was to kind of set us down after a really difficult time that we came into. So, like I say, I've got this massive splinter right up my bum. So I don't know. I'm going to sit on the fence until the season's over.
It's a difficult question, Marlon, is it not? Because, you know, if he wins the Europa League, does that automatically mean he stays? You know, I can totally see both sides of this argument. I really can. But what's your thoughts? Because obviously I haven't really asked you what your thoughts on Ange are.
So I'm in the camp of he's not right for Tottenham Hotspur. He's not a terrible manager. I don't go to the notion that he's the worst manager. He's this, he's that, he's blah. I just don't think he's right for Tottenham Hotspur. We've had 2 windows, and he clearly has said he wanted players, and we haven't given to him the sort of players he needs for this system. Spurs are never going to give you. I think Levy's statement the other day just highlighted that. So for me, Ange will go somewhere else and actually do well. Now the next manager, again, and this is where I make Lee right again. You know, you saw what Areola's doing. I don't think he's the right man for Spurs. You need to go out and get someone who's going to work with this board and work with the tight restraints that you're going to get. And that's going to be the biggest problem. How many coaches can? Because so many coaches have failed because they're unable to. So what you have to do in this situation is you have to weigh up of there's going to be other clubs out there that work in the exact same way as us, that work on a limited budget, want to work with young players, you know, will change their philosophy, this, that, and the other, but is able to defend and play football. We're asking a lot, but for me, Ange is not the right man for Tottenham Hotspur right now. If it was back when Poch left, he's probably right then. But to come and sort out the Mourinho mess, the Nuno mess, and then the Conte mess, it was too difficult for him because the job became too big for what he needed to do. So for me, he could win the Europa League, and I think he should leave and just give us all the middle finger and go, ha, I did it. and that's what he should do. And go, look, because he's not going to be successful. The biggest problem that we have with Ange this season that no matter what his excuses were, he shouldn't be 14th with this squad. Top half of the table, yes, not where he is. And that's going to be the biggest issue. And the likelihood is that we're not going to finish in the top side of half of the table with some of the fixtures we've got left. But I will back him until the end of the season. Whether I want him here next season, it's down to him. If he wants to stay, he can stay. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Because I don't believe that Spurs, all these managers we're being linked with, trust me right now, Spurs won't go out and get them. It'll be someone left field who we don't know, and it'll be someone going, who the hell is this?
Yeah. I mean, look, you saying about all the managers. I look at Areola and I think if I was a Bournemouth fan, I'd be going, that's because he's had his head turned. That's why, because they can't win now. Ever since they've been linked with Spurs, the curse has already started. But Jimbo, no team has earned fewer points in London derbies than Tottenham. We've won 3, drawn 1. You've dreamt that we're going to be 3-0 up at half time.
Repeat what you just said, Kate. I didn't hear. Sorry.
No team has got fewer points with London derbies than Spurs this season. We've won 3 and drawn 1. So I said you dreamt we were 3-0 up at half time. So how are we going to beat Chelsea tonight?
Well, if we go 3-0 up at half time, I think the job's really done, isn't it? But look,
Yeah,
I
but
don't know
how
what
did
happened
we
at the
do
end of
that
the
in your
game
dream?
because I was in my dream. It was 3-0 at half time. Then the dog woke me up. She needed to go out to the toilet, so I went out to the toilet. I tried to go back to the same dream, and I couldn't. I ended up having a dirty dream about you the second half.
Oh, Marlon or Lee?
So all I know was we was 3-0 up at half time. But
Yeah, but how did we do it? Did we rip through them? I mean, was it a Madder's masterclass?
and do you know what? I can't even think who scored. All I know is I called you and said, "Have you seen the score at half time?" And you went no, and I said it's 3-0. And then the dog woke me up, and that was it. But we'll see. Look, Kate. At the end of the day, every game's different, right? I never look. I'm not one of these people that I look at records and think, well, we haven't won there for so long, right? And I don't look at the last game and think, well, they beat us 4-0 last time or whatever the score was, right? Because every game's different, and then people's mindsets are different. It's just that for me, it's just another game at Chelsea, right? And if they're up for it, we can win it, and that is without any shadow of a doubt. There's no for me. There's nothing. I look at them and think, oh my god, this team is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
I don't look at them and see that. So and I look at our team. We've got a good team out there on the pitch, so we can beat them. Of course, we can beat them. I really fancy we're going to win tonight. I do, honestly.
Look, you've heard it from the horse's mouth, Jimbo. Not that he ever predicts us to lose, but he really, really, really does fancy us to win tonight. But it's that time of the show where I need everybody's score predictions and also goal scorers as well. I'm going to give 2 predictions tonight because recently I've been called out for A, being too toxic positive and B, being too bloody negative. So I'm going to give my realistic prediction and then my positive prediction. Because then no one can ever go at me because I'm right. I've covered both parties. So I'm going to give my negative prediction first, which is the prediction that I've fancied all along, which is a 3-1 loss, which is depressing, I know, but it is what I fancy. I just don't see it changing, but I hope I'm wrong. Marlon, you're always quite level-headed. You get accused of being negative sometimes as well. What are you feeling about tonight's game?
I had the same as you in my prediction as well. I had a 3-1 loss. After seeing the starting lineups, I'm probably just going to go for a 2-1 loss instead. I think we are strong enough. No, I think we're strong enough to hold them out. My worry is substitutions that Ange will make if we're 1-0 up or if there's an injury or anything like that, where it will start going wrong. But you never know. If someone's peed in all 4 corners, we might win this.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. Someone else has said a 2-1 loss as well. I've no idea how to pronounce your name. I apologise. Knocky Sound has said 2-1 to us. Odebert and Solanke to score and Jackson to score for Chelsea. 2-2, Sonnenberg-Val to score for us. 4-3 win, says Paul Hutchinson. Expecting goals and bad defending from both sides. Yeah, I think that's a bit of a given. 3-2 loss I have. Oh, dear. See, look, we're getting told off. Why is everyone so negative? I'm with Jimbo, says Knocky Sound.
Come on.
Lee, how are you feeling? Are you feeling positive?
You know me. I'm always the one who puts a positive spin on everything. I try to be a happy clapper and all the rest of it when we do our predictions for Dave and stuff. But in this one, I did predict a 2-1 loss, which is really unusual for me.
Wow.
And I hate to do it. It really grinds my gears to do that, right? But I look at that team and I listen to Jim and I think to myself, Jim's right. We have got a decent team there. Chelsea they're not Liverpool. So, maybe we could just do it. Or at least get a draw. I think, get a Desmond would be pretty good. I did start off with a 2-1 loss. So I guess I'll have to stick with that. Otherwise, I'm going to be called, all sorts of names. So I'll stick.
No, Lee, you could change. You've seen the starting lineup now. You can change your mind now. You've seen the starting lineup before it's fine.
Come on, Lee.
Do
Come on,
I'm not going to flip-flop. I'm not going to. No.
It's not flip-flopping. Look, you get a score in your head, then you see the team, and you think, you know what? I might be a bit wrong there.
I changed mine. I know I went for 1 goal less, but I still changed mine.
No, I'm going to stick with my principles. I'm going to say I think we're going to lose 2-1. But I'm hoping that we're not going to lose 2-1. I'm hoping we're going to smash them, obviously.
Exactly.
And I think if we can get the 3-0 before Jim wakes up and goes back to a naughty dream, then I'm happy with that. 3-0, I'd absolutely love it. I'll be running around the streets of Paul in just my underpants.
Good luck getting for 3-0 up and Jimbo sees that. You know he's going to be horny.
Oh my God, I'm going out. 3-0 at half time is actually 66-1.
I'll back it.
Cheeky bet on it. George saying 4-0 to Tottenham. I'm loving this. Chris Peters saying 2-0 to Tottenham. Son and Solanke to score. 4-0 says Yogi Bear. They're all on the Jim Kool-Aid tonight. Sonny, Tell, Odebert and Bergvall. Draw 2-2, glass half full. 3-2 win, says Jacob Farrell. Andrew will make a sub in the back and we will concede 0-1. So, or would that be 1-0? Because it's at Chelsea, I'm confused. 2-1 Spurs or Chelsea. That's a big old splinter there. 2-1 Spurs or Chelsea. 3-1 Spurs, says Ollie. 3-2 defeat, says The View from Nowhere. 6-1 to Chelsea. 4 goals in the first half. Are Chelsea capable of scoring 6? I'll be devastated if we lose 6-1.
Romero. We're never conceding 6 of those 2.
That's exactly right. 10-0 to Chelsea. Be like Jim. Think positive. Positive mind. Fresh. Manifest it into happening. 2-1 win, says Cena. Peter says, same crap, different year. We do the same stuff. Every coach expects a new one's the answer. I have faith in hands with the youth coming through. Time will see us at the top again. I'm getting tired of it. Yeah, well, you never know. We might fluke this. I take it however it comes. I don't care. 3-1 Solly hat trick. 0-0 would be poetic. 5-1 Drogba hat trick. Now that's the player I'd love at Spurs. Wow. What a player he was. 3-2, Palmer hat-trick and a Romero red card. Oh, no, don't say that. 4-0 Tottenham, solid brace. Milton saying 1-0. Giddy Hops is saying 6-0 with Van der Ven and Romero, no chances. Yeah, exactly. That's what Marlon said. 3-1 Spurs says Leo. I think we've all got a bit of post-traumatic stress from this fixture, let's be fair. Please, for the love of God, if Sonny's doing nothing, sub him at half time. 2-3 Spurs, says Tom. If we get battered 6-1, give him the P45 in the changing room after the game. Evening, Ben Kaufman says, if anyone wishes to find me during the game, I will be hiding behind my sofa with a brew. Yes, I think you won't be the only one. 3-1 Spurs, Sonic goal. I think it'll be a draw. We have a good team. On finally a good back four, had a break, time to trade. It's possible 2-2 or last minute goal on 2-3. I'm with Marlon in the fact the only thing that actually worries me a little bit is Udogie, because I think he's been dire this season. But I'm very glad that he hasn't played Basuma because he's been more dire. AFL says Romero red card and penalty 2 minutes in, 4-0 Chelsea and sacked. Wow, you're full of the joys of spring, AFL. Thanks for that. Yellow cards galore. 4-1 Chelsea. Jimbo, what's your prediction, my love?
Well, I'm going to give you 2 predictions. The first prediction is, right, if I was running this show, right, there'd be 3 red cards, right, for you 3. Right, so that's my first prediction. And my second prediction,
you're not running it then.
And my second prediction is 4-1 to Spurs. We are going to smash them tonight. I can feel it. 4-1. It's going to be 3-0 at half time and 1-1 the second half. We'll sit back a bit. 4-1.
I don't even know what to say to that. Who's scoring?
Excuse me. When I said to you we'd beat Man City 4-0, you all laughed at me. And what did we do? We beat them 4-0. Right?
Yeah,
that me and Ash were in the studio. We're not there tonight, Jimbo.
Yeah, that's right. What about all the other 4-0s you predicted, though, darling?
Yeah, well, this is another one coming tonight.
Who's scoring?
I don't really care who scores. It's just as long as we kick their ass. But
Sanchez
I'm
own
going to go Solly 2, right? And I'm going to go Madison 1 and Solanke 1.
Madison 1, Solanke 1. Okay. Rixie, a lot of us bet against Spurs because then if we win, it's a double bonus. I think you should be able to say what you think. I don't think it's a disgrace at all. But hey, you're entitled to your opinion. My super positive prediction, because I've already done my realistic 3-1, my super positive prediction is 4-2 to Spurs. So for all the people who think I'm negative, I'm saying 4-2 Spurs. And to all the people who think I'm positive, I'm saying 3-1, 2 positive, I'm saying 3-1 to Chelsea. So take your pick, whichever one you fancy.
Tell us, Kate. Tell us.
Sarah says 3-3, Dom with 2, Sonny assists from Madders, Odebert and Son. Come on, you Spurs. Ben says, you predict we'll win 4-0 every game, Jimbo.
Well,
he's not wrong. Most games. Basuma is more dire than Eric Dyer. Whatever's Jimbo smoking, I'll have some. Yes,
please.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It's 4-1 at the end of the game. Next time we're on this show, I would like some people to say, "Oh, Jim, you was right, mate."
Yeah, we will. Don't worry. We're trying not to be pumped down. Please don't piss Mystic Kate off. Ooh. I see a Chelsea 3-1 win. Look, let's all hope. Whatever we predict, we don't say it because we want it to happen. We all want Spurs to win. We just say it as we see it. Yes. But Marlon, before we go, what's happening over at Spurs Kings TV?
Good point. I don't know. We're around. No. Look, we got our shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But yeah, Ash and I then go on everyone else's for the rest of the week. We're a bit of a hoe bags like that, as they say. Yeah. But look, thanks for anyone who wants to come over to Spurs Kings TV. Look, we need 30 more subscribers, so help us out in the chat if you can. But Jimbo, Kate, can I just say, doing a stream with you has been an absolute pleasure. I felt like I was with Peter Crouch and Abby Clancy, and me and Leah just sitting there going, "Oh, did we really come on this?" It's been brilliant. Got to do this again. It's made my day.
always welcome.
And always big up to Lee as well.
I'd love to look like Peter Crouch or Abby Clancy, actually. I don't care which one. But
Tottenham Therapy Couch, that's what you lot should call your show.
That's not a bad idea, to be fair. It's been lovely to stream with you, Marlon. It's been too long, so we must leave it so long next time. Lee, what's happening over at the Dorset Spur now you're back from your hollybobs?
Yeah, and now football's back. I'll be back doing my live stream on a Tuesday evening. That's the one I do. And generally speaking, I do reviews after the game and stuff like that. So if anyone wants to come over and listen to an old man moaning, you're more than welcome to come over and lead a Dorset Spur. And as Marlon said, been great night. I've enjoyed the chat. It's been really good. I'm sure Jim will be desperately thinking he'd like you to look like Abby Clancy as well.
She looks better than Abby Clancy.
Cast aspersions.
She looks better than Abby Clancy, Lee, to me. She does.
Oh, bless you.
Bless him. Bless him.
But look, it's been good fun as always. Jimbo, what's happening at Kate and Jimbo?
I haven't got a clue. I just follow you.
Yeah, well, we're back.
I would like to say that it's been fantastic having Marlon and Leon, two of the nicest guys on YouTube, without any doubt. Along with Ash. Ash is a great guy as well.
Wait, forget Ash, he's not here. I'm here. You tell him that next time.
Ash is a good guy.
He's not. Just Marlon.
It's me, Jimbo, you got.
Exactly. Do please sub to Lee and Marlon. What do you need 30 subs for? What?
To get to 500. No, to get 500. Yeah, 500. As in 3,500. That's what I needed for.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been sitting on the 80s and 90s for 2 weeks, 3-4 weeks now. I'm like, come on, just get me over the line.
Yeah, and if you feel like you can sub to me and Jimbo, where you can watch us argue on stream most days, usually at lunchtimes. So he's normally wrong. If he's right tonight, I won't hear the end of it, but I'll take it because it means we would have won. But stay where you are.
I'm still living off the City game.
I know you are, darling. I live with you. Stay where you are, everyone, because you will be directed to the watch along, which is Nicolas, Barry, Emerson Royale fan club, and Sim. But as always, enjoy the game and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.